Okay. That'll be for you guys when we go to actually taste it. Yeah, that was what Zach's episode was about. It was looking at flavor lists to help you pick out flavor.
That would have been helpful while I was drinking the Dr. Pepper.
Yeah.
I want the 23 flavors in front of me.
Where's
Sip that thing.
There's cherries right there. Vanilla, boom.
Caramel. There's a little hint of caramel in there, I feel.
With the cola, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, caramel cola.
Okay.
All right, we're getting somewhere.
Yeah, so here's all your Phantom flavors you can pick out. Bryce was big
I like
on
this. So we don't know what flavors this is supposed to have. But
I do, but you don't.
This helps us. Okay, I see.
Yeah, it's like suggestion. Because like sometimes you'll be like, oh, I know what that is, but I can't say it.
I already know.
Yeah.
I taste a lot of anus in this.
Anus.
Yeah. Where's that even?
I love anus.
Anise?
I'm saying that.
Oh my gosh. Wow.
Okay, serious.
You good?
All right.
You ready?
Yep.
You good?
All right. Today, on the Whiskey Noobs podcast, I have two guests with me. As promised in the last episode, I did shout you out in the last episode. And I said,
Nice.
I think he's bringing somebody. I don't know for sure. This is when it was still up in the air. But, yeah, so today I have Bryce, fan favorite, and the people that the fans love to hate, the person the fans love to hate, the girl who doesn't appreciate steak.
That's right.
What do you...
We have her on.
I'm not the Applebee's steak girl, though. I want to make that clear.
No, that's a good point.
I'm
No,
not-
that is, yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I am not
Should
the
we
Applebee's
call
steak
her
girl.
out? Will they ever be for this episode?
Yeah, incognito.
It's not me. I don't appreciate steak, but I
No.
also have never had an Applebee's steak and
No.
liked it.
Not yet.
So what did you get for perspective then? Did we resolve this?
No, absolutely not.
No,
He
you
made
still
me
think
another
steak's
steak
just,
for my birthday.
I made a sous vide steak.
And mine was way better than his, and then again, he was like, let me try yours. Is it okay? And I'm like, oh yeah, it's like good. And he was like, this is way better than mine.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, do you want to switch? He's like, no, too
You
late,
just had
too
no
late.
idea.
Yeah.
I made sous vide. It was good.
Yeah, it was
I
pretty
feel
good.
like that was a thing for me with steak for like a really long time. Because like my dad always made steak growing up and I didn't like appreciate it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like I feel like that really was a thing. Where did I have like my first like bad steak? I don't know. I don't remember it. But I do remember at a certain point in my life, like looking forward to steak night at my parents' house because, like, oh, this is good steak. So it's not. I mean, you're not crazy.
No,
you
no.
need perspective.
No, you need hot dogs to appreciate steaks.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. Every once in a while, a meatloaf, and you're like, this is good. It's not steak.
So, have you had whiskey before?
Yes, let's talk about that.
No, I'm more of a seltzer lady myself.
Okay, yeah, big white claws and
White and the law with the claw.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that is me.
So we're drinking whiskey, so there will be laws.
Okay, we should lay it down now.
This is
then.
sophisticated.
Oh,
Yeah,
sophisticated.
yeah,
All
yeah.
right.
We're gonna use big words here, and
But yeah, so I do always start with that. What's your experience, if at all, with whiskey, hard liquor?
Let me tell you, Fireball.
Okay.
That was my go-to at 18.
Okay.
And my brother's stoked to go to at 30, so when I'm with him, I have to take Fireball shots.
Okay, so mostly Fireball.
hot water.
Yeah, hot water.
Hot water for sure.
That's about as much as I got with whiskey. What else is whiskey? I don't think I've ever had like a Jack and Coke. Or
Okay.
anything. Like I don't think I've
Ever?
No.
So you've definitely
I'm-
never had just like a straight whiskey, just
Absolutely
like,
not. No.
this is gonna be great.
I
did
go
not
straight
know
to
that.
the bar and I'm like either Tito's or White Claw, please and thank you.
Wow.
I don't know.
I'm pretty excited because normally I know, like I ask him for like the people listening, what's your experience with whiskey? But I knew,
He knew.
but I didn't know that,
Yeah,
so
no,
I'm
I've
very
never
excited.
had any whiskey.
Wow, this is great. Okay,
boy.
so okay. I know you don't know a lot about whiskey, but there's a bunch of different kinds, right? Bourbon is one kind. It's made in America.
Okay.
And that's what we're drinking today. I just did an episode on bourbon last week, and I mentioned how it is a very welcoming type of whiskey. I don't want to give the wrong impression. It's not super simple or like super duper sweet, but in terms of whiskey, it's a little bit more welcoming. It's a little bit easier to drink, depending on the type. So some types are really not easy to drink. The Russells that you drank was a lot more challenging than the Buffalo Trace that we're going to drink today. But it's a little bit more welcoming typically. And that's all I want to say about it. Because I don't want people I'm going to have so many people like, what do you mean it's simple? I love... It's not like that. But it can be very welcoming. So, like I just said, today we're drinking Buffalo Trace. I'm going to show it to the camera there. We're drinking Buffalo Trace Kentucky Straight Bourbon Whiskey. As always, you can see this on the Instagram at whiskey_noobs, or if you're on the email list, you've already seen it. If you want to join the email list, you can shoot an email to whiskeynoobspodcast@gmail.com and put email list in the description or in the subject line. Also, there is a TikTok now. The Whiskey Noobs podcast on TikTok. You can find me, and it's mostly comedy. It's mostly not like facts like this. I'm going to start posting more clips from the show and stuff. So I'm just starting to work on that. It's kind of fun, a little bit more lighthearted than learning about whiskey. It's more just jokes about whiskey. But it still has to do with whiskey or alcohol or drinking. So, Buffalo Trace Bourbon. A little bit of background for both of you guys. What do you know about Buffalo Trace Bourbon? I'm interested, actually. Bryce.
Absolutely nothing.
Okay, you don't. Okay, I'm wondering because it's really popular. Have you ever heard of Pappy Van Winkle?
No.
Okay, have you ever heard of Blanton's?
Yes, I have heard of Blanton's.
Okay, you've heard of Blanton's. Yeah. Okay, so that's Buffalo Trace Distillery.
Oh, okay.
So this is a much cheaper counterpart to Blanton's. Oh. So I'm going to run through real quick because they are absolutely killing it in the whiskey industry right now. They make Eagle Rare, very popular. They make Pappy Van Winkle. They make George T. Stagg. They make Blanton's. They make W.L. Weller. The list goes on and on. They make Benchmark, which is one of my favorite super duper bottom shelves. Yeah, it's like really, really low shelf, but it's a great mixer. So they make all of those. Pappy Van Winkle is probably the most commonly known. Blanton's is pretty commonly known as well. Pappy Van Winkle is the one that's like, it resales at like $2,000 a bottle. That's why it's so popularly known. Just for being that extremely expensive whiskey. It retails for anywhere between like $200 and $500 depending on. There's different types of it. There's Old Rip Van Winkle Family Reserve. But it resells extremely expensive because it's extremely hard to get. But we're drinking Buffalo Trace, which is just the name brand bourbon that they make.
Cut and dry.
Roughly like $30 a bottle. Blanton's is in your $60 range.
I think I may have tried Blanton's before, but
Blanton's is delicious. Yeah. A lot of people. That's like, maybe it's better known than Van Winkle just because it's affordable.
Yeah.
And really hard to find still. So, Buffalo Trace, I mentioned it's a Kentucky Straight Bourbon whiskey. So, if you listen to last week's episode, you know what all that stuff means. I know you guys don't necessarily know what all that stuff means because last week's episode hasn't published yet. It's still last week.
Right.
It's weird. But it's a Kentucky Straight Bourbon whiskey, and there's no age statement on the bottle. So, it doesn't say how old it is. You know how sometimes, like, we had, it'll say, like, 12 years old, 10 years old. There's no age statement. So what that usually means, if there's no age statement, is it's not old enough that they want to advertise it and be like, hey, this is how old it is. But it also means it's more than 4 years old. Because any bourbon that's less than 4 years old, you have to put an age statement on it. So that's a little thing to keep people from, like, kind of false advertising, making it seem like it's older than it actually is. This is not a high rye bourbon. It's a good starting point. It's just a bourbon, right? So it's not fancy at all. What all that means.
This is going to give us perspective.
It's going to give you
That's exactly what I need to start with. That's exactly what I need.
Exactly. It'll be a foundation for your perspective. So I am going to pour, and I'm going to ask you guys a riddle. No reading ahead of the class.
Look me in the eye.
Yeah. All right. They fill me up, and you empty me. I know how it sounds. Almost every day. If you raise my arm, I work the opposite way. What am I?
One more time.
They fill me up, and you empty me. Almost every day. If you raise my arm, I work the opposite way. What am I? And since there's two of you... This is the second episode I've done with two people, but it's the first one airing that I've done with two people. If one of you figures it out and the other one doesn't, please keep it to yourself. I like to enjoy the surprise on people's face if they don't figure it out.
Well, if it makes you feel any better, I have no idea.
I have an idea. It's probably not right, though.
Well, I'm glad that you...
It was the arm
keep
backwards
it to yourself.
thing that did it for me.
Okay. All right. So
wait,
one of us has an idea.
You definitely got to get scientific with her.
Oh,
because that helped me out a lot.
That's a good point. We should get a little scientific. Okay, so I didn't know if he'd filled you in on the scientism of it.
No.
Okay, so one thing that helps, a lot of people don't realize, because when you learn to take a shot, you learn to just pound it as fast as you can, swallow as fast as you can, it'll burn less. So when you're actually tasting whiskey, it actually burns more if you do it that way. Believe it or not. So you want to leave it in your mouth for a second. I know it sounds like I'm lying to you. You want to leave it in your mouth for a second because it actually dilutes the whiskey a little bit, makes it a little bit less strong. Believe it or not. Yeah. And so like, you know how when you take a shot, it like doesn't burn in your mouth at all, but then as soon as you open your mouth, it's like you feel like a dragon, like fire just comes out of your throat. That's because it doesn't dilute at all, and then it goes down your throat, and it's all fumes. So if you leave it in your mouth for a second, it'll actually dilute it a little bit. Believe it or not. I promise. You just gotta take my word for it.
It's science.
It's what made him end up liking whiskey.
It's science.
One thing I didn't mention, but I remembered as I was telling you about that, is the proof of this. This is 90 proof, 45% alcohol by volume, same as the Russells that we drank.
Boom.
I know that you haven't drank it for a while, but in terms of perspective, this is not going to seem as strong as that Russells does.
All right.
So it's actually kind of strong. It has to be at least 80 proof. It's 90 proof, so it's stronger than minimum, right? All right. Well, let's start with a smell, and I want to talk about why this is my favorite bourbon. Okay, so I'm seeing Autumn's face. Oh. Did we even say your name? We just said you're the girl who doesn't like steak.
That's all you need to know.
That's all you need.
You don't really need my name.
The girl who doesn't appreciate
Bryce's
steak.
girlfriend.
Yeah.
Find me on his Instagram.
Yeah.
Steak hater 1, 2, 3.
So I noticed that when I said smell it, you made a face.
Oh yeah, that was.
So it hurt probably.
Yeah.
So when you're smelling whiskey, you want to start away from it, get right to where it burns just a little bit, and then back up. And you don't want it to burn. You want to be smelling it, but it not burning. So for somebody who's been drinking it for a while, I'm like,
you're straight in
right here. But yeah, you're gonna want to be back a little bit.
Okay, yeah.
And that's what the shape of the glass is for. It helps you get away from the whiskey, but still get all of the scent from it.
Okay.
So
I always feel fancy while I do this.
I know it doesn't. It feels.
I feel like my pinky needs to be out.
Yeah, and when you're doing this with people who don't know about,
like huffing fumes is what I feel like I'm doing right now.
It's like you just sprayed paint in a bag.
Yeah. Oh my god. Yeah. Like a Sharpie.
Yeah.
Like in middle school, like you would go.
Yeah. You're like, no, I swear, it just smells good, teacher. I'm not trying anything. Yeah, when you're like smelling it with people who don't drink whiskey, you gotta be like so nonchalant about it. Like you just gotta be like, "Oh, is that right?" Because like you look like such a jerk,
pretentious.
Yeah. One of the first times I met her, remember it was after Christmas. And I just got a bunch of whiskey, so I brought a Glencairn with me.
I was like, "What the heck is that?"
Like I forgot there's gonna be people that I didn't know super well, and I'm like, I look like such a like. What's the word?
I don't remember what I even thought when I saw that, honestly.
Yeah.
I was just kind of like, oh no, I do remember. I was like, this dude is drinking straight something, and he's got to be hard for it. Because I was like,
see?
No way.
It makes up for the girly glass.
And then I think that night he came over with the hard wine, too.
Oh, yeah.
Then there I was just like, this man can handle it.
Yeah.
I cannot.
When you get used to whiskey, wine is not super strong. Okay.
All right.
So, the reason this is my well, we'll talk about that after we get a taste. So let's get a smell. What are we smelling?
Is it caramel?
Okay, for sure.
There's no wrong answers.
There are no wrong answers.
It's not a question.
Personally, I always, on bourbons, I'm always like, this smells like caramel to me. Bourbons, for me.
You know what I'm getting is maple.
Oh, that's a good one. I don't even know. Is that on here? It is. It's right at the bottom. We are using the Whiskey Noobs flavor list for
it is very helpful.
Yeah. So if you're on the email list, you've probably already gotten it. If you're not on the email list, get on the email list so you can get it. Yeah, maple. That's a good one. Mm-hmm. It's definitely got that bakery sweets like caramel and maple.
Pecans.
I was thinking pecans actually. Nuttiness. Maple. Definitely a nuttiness. So that's the smell of it. Let's give it our first taste. So now don't forget, don't just swallow right away. You want to let it sit on your tongue for a second.
I'm going to watch one of you do it first so I know how much to drink.
Okay, so what I do, especially with newer folks, is you do a sacrificial sip that's going to burn a little bit. And then you do a second sip so you can taste it.
This helps out a lot.
I do too.
Just one quick one, next one,
and then the next one, let it sit. Okay? It's real small. So that one, your mouth kind of burns, you feel it.
Hot water.
And then a good one. A little bit not as bad?
Not as terrible, but still, I kind of felt my body do a little.
So, on the palate.
Oh, you're doing it again? Okay.
Still a lot of bakery sweets. For sure.
Yeah.
On the front end, it's kind of similar to Rebel Bourbon that we did in the first whiskey review episode, but it's got more depth to it than that. I'm going to let you lead a little bit.
That one's kind of tough. Maybe apricot?
Okay.
I don't even know what apricot tastes like, to tell you. I'm not cultured in that area.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of hard to explain.
That's what
It's a fruit.
Yeah.
In the last one, Zach said pear, and I was like, I don't know what pear tastes like. I'm going to say similar to green apple.
It's a lot stronger and easier to identify on the nose than the palate.
Yes, for sure.
Yeah.
Which it kind of always is. In the last one, you probably didn't notice it because we started with the Tullamore, which is really weak, and we worked our way into the 90 proof.
I don't get a lot of smoke.
No.
Not at all.
That is, okay, so that's one of the things I want to talk about is why it's my favorite beginner bourbon. That's one of the reasons.
Yeah.
Some bourbons are kind of aggressively smoky.
Yeah.
And I say that, and people who drink smoky scotch are probably like, what are you talking about? For bourbons, some bourbons are aggressively smoky. If you've had peated scotch, it's a totally different ballgame. Like, it makes any bourbon not taste smoky. But for a bourbon, this is on the lower end of,
definitely.
oaky flavors.
Yeah, it's pretty mild.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, we're still doing it. Oh, God.
I want to hear your opinions. Go ahead, take a sip, and let's hear your opinion on it.
Okay. I don't know.
Hot water for right now? Okay.
Hot water.
Okay.
You need to hold it on your tongue a little longer.
How much longer? Okay.
So what I do...
Give it a second.
...is one technique, they call it like chewing the whiskey. And you basically put it in your mouth, and you basically chew. What I do that's a little bit different from that, because chewing looks funny, in my opinion, is I basically take my tongue and touch the roof of my mouth and then let go. And touch the roof of my mouth and let go a few times, and it coats your whole mouth with the whiskey.
You know what? This one has a good oily finish, I feel.
Oh, yeah.
It's not dry.
Look at you.
Yeah,
It's not dry.
That is not dry, you're right.
Absolutely.
I got a really strong hint of caramel in my last one.
Did you?
Yeah.
Okay. Definitely Go ahead.
Yeah.
I can't even taste the caramel.
Okay, that's okay.
You're not holding it on your tongue long enough. I watched it.
I didn't need you to call me out like that.
Yeah, you really did. You were like, you're not holding on your tongue long enough.
You're not doing it right. You're not doing it right.
Oh, that's
okay,
awesome.
so like, should someone count it for me?
Yeah, okay, so put it to... Okay, let me see how many times I do it, because I don't even know. I feel like touching the tongue to the roof of your mouth 3 times is a good number.
Why do I have to hold it in there for... Why do I feel like that's going to make me gag?
I don't know.
A lot of things make you gag.
Don't be a quitter.
I can brush my teeth just fine.
You swallow that whiskey like a man.
Let me tell you, if you want to taste the anise in this, you're going to have to hold it on your tongue longer.
Okay, alright, I'll do it.
Bryce is just enamored by the anise on the flavor list. That's the black licorice flavor. Bryce just thinks
that's what anise is.
That's what anise is.
Interesting. I wouldn't have known that either.
You can totally spell it or pronounce it wrong if you just read it, which is what Bryce
Well, how would you pronounce it wrong? What else would you call it?
Still a little strong.
Oh, God.
I mean, real strong caramel.
Okay, I totally
Very strong caramel.
I totally agree with the caramel.
That is like, it's so pronounced. That's like the only thing I'm getting.
There's something else that I'm getting, but I want to wait and see if you guys mention it first. But for you not tasting flavors...
I don't know what is going on, but it's not
okay.
good.
It's okay. If you haven't drank straight liquor at all before, it's going to be tough. One of the tips I actually have is that people who are just getting started, the one that Justin did, where you start cutting it and then slowly cut it with less and less. We didn't have time for all that tonight, so you're just
straight into
you just
the fire.
missed the frying pan. Fire.
Straight into the fire.
Straight into the fire water. Okay.
I don't even know. I wish I could.
Yeah.
Now I'm upset.
It's okay. One thing that might help is to smell it more. Like, smell it more and pull more notes from the nose. Because then you're already, like, primed. And then you're...
Remember we did that with the Dr. Pepper?
She's practicing with Dr. Pepper. How many flavors?
23.
23 flavors.
Allegedly. I only got 4.
Is there vanilla in it?
There can be vanilla.
There's no wrong
There's
answers.
no wrong answers.
There's no wrong answers. And vanilla and caramel kind of go hand in hand. Like a honey, like a bakery sweetness.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So smelling that constantly, over and over, is a great way to kind of prime yourself for when you are actually tasting it. Now that you've said apricot, I can see that. I can see the fruitiness a little bit after the caramel, though.
Did you get anything on that one?
Yeah. Is it cinnamon?
Cinnamon
could be,
is yes, because like the one that I was gonna say was nuttiness, but like a toasted pecan, which is cinnamony. Yeah. for sure.
I mean, the caramel is just so pronounced.
And it's right on the front end.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, as soon as you taste it, it's caramel. I think this is the whiskey that I actually had Maggie, my fiance, smell. And I was like, what does this smell like to you? And she was just like, caramel. And because I do that with her because she also does not like tasting whiskey. But I just had her smell it, and she said it smelled like caramel. I think it was this one.
You know what this reminds me of?
What's that?
Those suckers that are supposed to be caramel apple.
Yeah. Those suckers are great.
This is an adult version of those suckers.
No, the suckers are better than this.
This is caramel apple.
Whiskey is just an adult version of candy.
Wait, hold on a second. This might be caramel apple.
Oh, that could be the fruitiness.
Okay.
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 I'm getting it.
Phantom flavors. See?
I could see it, though, as more of a red apple than a green apple. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Less sour. Like, less of a sour apple.
Yeah, it's not like a Granny Smith.
No.
Real Macintosh vibes.
Yeah.
How do you know all that?
Red Delicious. Is that one? I think it's Gold Delicious.
Gold Delicious? I don't know.
There's Red Delicious.
Something's delicious about it.
I think there is also Gold Delicious. I don't know.
All right, let's go back in.
Oh, God.
Dive in. Yeah.
Sniff?
Yeah. Now I'm just smelling vanilla.
Yeah, and I've said a few different flavors.
It smells warm. Because it tastes warm.
Hot water.
Hot water. Now you understand the hot water.
Yeah. Ooh.
Yeah, I'd recommend for you, especially since you are so inexperienced with whiskey, that if you were to try to get into tasting it, that you do for like a month, you start with like 75% 7-Up.
Oh, yeah.
And you just, every week, goes down 25%.
Yeah, that probably wouldn't be bad with 7-Up. It's not a terrible idea.
Now, how do you think this would compare to Fireball?
I'm going to be honest. I've had a lot of terrible experiences with Fireball, but I would rather be drinking Fireball right now.
It's a lot sweeter. Yeah.
I've had a lot of bad experiences.
What flavors do you think you would pull from Fireball?
Straight cinnamon.
Cinnamon, and probably cinnamon.
Yeah.
That's actually a flavored whiskey. This is unflavored.
Oh, no. Speaking of Dr. Pepper and Fireball, you mix that together.
Really?
You got yourself something.
That's like 24 flavors.
That was... There might be cinnamon in Dr. Pepper. You don't know.
Yeah, what if they cancel out?
Yeah, but the whiskey would be the new...
Oh, you're right. Just whiskey flavor.
You think you're hilarious.
That was pretty good.
You just gotta let it go. You gotta let it laugh himself.
That was good. Yeah, you do. It's a little bit far off topic.
What about nutmeg?
So speaking of off topic, nutmeg.
Are you doing that to make fun of me?
No.
Oh. Because you nutmegged me that one time we were playing soccer.
Oh, so you finally admitted on air.
You didn't nutmeg.
Everybody, I nutmegged her playing soccer.
And you're lucky they can't
You
smell
did what?
spice.
I nutmegged her.
You nutmegged
Put the ball
her?
between her legs.
Yeah, you put it in between
I put the ball between her legs. Yeah, it's a nutmeg.
Yeah.
Oh.
I don't even know how he knew it, honestly.
Yeah.
He played baseball.
My sister played soccer my whole life. I did not know that was a thing, so...
Because it doesn't happen in high school.
So let's take our minds off the burn a little bit,
Thank
and
you,
let's go back
Lord.
to our riddle here.
Hit me with it.
Okay. They fill me up and you empty me. Almost every day. If you raise my arm, I work the opposite way. What am I?
Oh, if you raise your arm. For a second, I was going to say it was like the paper towel thing. Because if you go backwards...
Oh, okay. No, good thinking, though.
You really got some good ones.
Thank you, I try.
That's tough.
I sift through the easy ones and go to tougher
I work
ones.
the opposite way. I'm trying to think what works the opposite way. Anything that works backwards.
Fill me up and empty me almost every day.
Is it... Who is they?
Other people. You don't need to know who. Well, you need to know
Is
who
it like
to solve the riddle.
Is it like the water?
No.
Okay, well... I'm thinking of like office equipment. I don't know why.
Right track is an everyday object. I mean, clearly.
Obviously.
Almost every day. Almost every day.
A trash can.
No, close.
Oh.
Close.
Oh.
Dumpster.
No.
No, okay. Not trash related.
No. But you're on kind of the right track.
I don't know.
So like you put out your trash and the trash people take it away, right? Mm-hmm. They take it away. Can you think of anything that works similar to that? Where they...
I feel like you just gave it away and I feel really dumb now.
Somebody listening's like, this guy's an idiot.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't know. Wait, is it like...
If you do think I'm an idiot, that's because you're right.
Who brings you anything?
Is it... Who does?
I don't know. Oh, the mail.
Oh!
Mailbox.
Mailbox. Nice.
If
I
you
feel
raise
like
the flag.
Blue's
Nice.
I know, right?
I love that.
All right.
What show is it that's like, we did it, hooray.
Dora.
Cora? Okay. Dora.
Get it
Cora.
together, guys.
I don't know my girl shows, I'm sorry. Okay, tasting notes, and we can talk about it. So now we're gonna feel stupid. I will die on the hill that this is caramely, and I don't see caramel.
Are you serious?
No caramel. But what they do have that I don't think is on my flavor note list, and I'm like, that's a good one. Molasses. I can totally see that now.
Well, yeah, with the maple.
Yeah. So
yeah, I got the maple.
Maple, molasses, that's pretty similar. So what it says is it has a complex aroma of vanilla, mint, and molasses.
Mint.
You smell mint?
Oh my gosh.
Oh.
Yes.
See,
this is where the phantom flavors come in. I feel like that was just planted in my mind.
I can smell mint.
I believe you because I mean you're supposed to.
Yeah.
But I personally do not.
That makes sense.
I knew it.
Vanilla for sure.
I knew there was anise in this.
Anise?
Why
That's
do you
not
like
even.
this?
You have an anise fixation.
I do.
So definitely the vanilla, definitely the molasses. You smell the mint. I don't, but I believe you. I could almost see
It's so sweet.
like a peppermint plant, maybe not like a shamrock. I also despise mint. I should throw that out there.
You're not like a York peppermint patty person?
No, I don't like mint at all.
That's
other than mojitos. I like mojitos, but that's it.
Between Almond Joys and what did you just say? The
York
pepper. Yeah, that.
You don't like Almond Joys?
You don't like almond joys?
No.
I
You don't
love
like
almond
coconut?
joys.
No, absolutely not. Do not like coconut at all.
Oh, see, I love
Now it
almond
makes
joys.
sense. I remember I packed you one of those little mini Yorks I have, and you brought it home melted. And I had to throw it away because I was like, what a waste of a good piece of candy. And I didn't ask him why he didn't eat it, but now I know.
Dude, if she packed you candy, you would at the very least give it to a coworker. You don't
Jake
bring it
would've
back
ate it.
home. Yeah.
It was melted, too.
Yeah.
That's what was upsetting. If you would have brought it back and it would have been fine, I would have been like, I'll just eat it.
Yeah.
You could have ate it melted, put it in the fridge.
That's disgusting.
You could have put it in the fridge. It would have solid.
Have you ever, listen, my protein bars melt all the time when you open them.
Ugh.
Like chocolate flakes are just everywhere.
Oh, if they refreeze?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the worst.
Yeah.
Okay, but if you go to eat candy in bed and you rip it open, it does that. That's like
Let me tell you about him eating bed. I woke up with popcorn on me one day. I was like, I don't even remember you coming back into bed with popcorn. Like, what?
she's asleep and you're like, I go for some popcorn right now.
I like popcorn.
That's awesome.
Yeah, we had to have the conversation not to eat popcorn in bed anymore.
No.
So, on the palate, notes of brown sugar and spice that give way to oak, toffee, dark fruit, and anise. Anise is one of the notes. Did you know that?
I've been hunting for anise this whole time.
I did not even know that.
I've been hunting for anise this entire time.
I
know I found it.
Dark fruit and spices, definitely.
That was good.
Ah.
Re-say that so they can hear you.
Now we're the butt of the joke.
Now we're the butt of the joke.
The anise, so to speak.
Because we didn't respect the anise that Bryce was tasting.
Yep.
We didn't respect Bryce's anise. So I didn't taste anise at all.
No.
And I also don't taste a lot of the oak. I can see where if you hadn't drank bourbon before, you'd taste the oak.
Yeah.
Compared to other bourbons, not a lot. Toffee, spices, brown sugar, all the bakery stuff that we were talking about. Dark fruit, so I think, are apricots considered dark? They're
I
like
wouldn't imagine.
I would say
orange,
like plum.
right? Yeah,
Yeah, like a
plum.
plum.
Yeah.
Grape.
But yeah.
But red apples are.
I remember the last one. It tasted like kind of like a raisin.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Like a.
Which this isn't very raisiny, but it gives way to a long and smooth finish with serious depth. I like that they put serious depth.
Yeah. It is very smooth, and it's not dry at all.
Yeah, it's not dry.
Definitely not a dry finish.
Very nice.
I wouldn't say a long finish. Okay. It's a long finish for the price point, for sure. It stays on your tongue long for the price.
Yeah.
Compared to, because I'm saying that because just 2 weeks ago we did a much more expensive whiskey, and that one is like, you can taste it for like 3 minutes.
Oh, yeah.
But this is definitely a long finish for the price point. And so I want to talk about a few reasons why this is like my favorite beginner whiskey. So one is the amount of notes that you get from it. I mean, we've been sitting here rattling off different stuff.
Yep.
Doesn't happen a lot with an inexpensive whiskey. Two is how approachable it is for the proof that it is.
Yeah.
Super approachable, super sweet. I mean, all the notes we're saying are like caramel and vanilla. Those are approachable flavors. It's not like super challenging. Like,
Yeah, it's very sweet.
Yeah.
Very sweet. It's not too like smoky, like you said.
Yeah, like you don't have like clove, anise may be a little challenging, but
Yeah, I don't think it's heavy either. Like, I don't think I would have trouble drinking a lot of that because it's not, like, super heavy.
that's a great point.
Like, it doesn't get overpowering.
Yep, it doesn't overwhelm your palate after like a little bit.
Yeah.
That's a great point. The smooth finish is a great reason for it to be a good beginner whiskey because dry finishes are not good when you're new. It's like, oh my gosh, I feel like I'm holding cotton in my mouth.
Yeah, you don't want that.
It probably already feels that way if you're new, like for any kind of whiskey. So for an actual whiskey with a dry finish, then it's really bad.
I don't think it's that bad.
Okay, good.
I mean, honestly, if you would put ice in this, I probably would like it better. It's like one of those situations where I can drink beer if it's ice cold and only ice cold. It might be like that.
That's fair. Ice takes away a little bit of the flavor, but also it's a lot easier to drink it. So that's totally fair. A lot of people only drink with ice. Yeah. I do sometimes, depends on like the situation. Like when it's hot outside, I'll drink whiskey on ice.
I think if I was to like just pour a glass at home, I would prefer ice as well.
Yeah, that's
you know what I mean?
fair.
Like this, I don't know that I would want it because I want to, try to find the flavors.
Exactly.
But
so when I was actually looking up, doing all the research for this episode on Buffalo Trace, the Pappy Van Winkle, right? Yeah, the Pappy Van Winkle. There's Van Winkle. There's like a bunch of subsets. It was the Pappy Van Winkle. The description, it said, is made to be drinking, whatever the word is, neat. And I was like, they put it right there. They're like, do not add ice to this.
Exactly. Don't ruin this.
Yeah.
$2,000 bottle of whiskey.
What's that?
Isn't that the $2,000 bottle one?
Yes.
That's ridiculous.
That's the those are all good reasons that I think it's good beginner whiskey.
I agree. I mean, I'm still consider myself a beginner and I enjoy it.
Okay, good. Yeah, I would consider you a beginner. When's the last time you drank neat whiskey?
When was I here last?
Exactly.
No, you had the mom,
I did. I had some of the little bottles.
Yeah,
the little sampler
we told
bottles.
my mom
It was
that
peanut
he was
butter.
on a
Peanut
whiskey
butter.
podcast, so she got him like a whole bunch of whiskey bottles for.
It was peanut butter
Easter.
whiskey.
Nice.
Yeah,
Was it
peanut butter.
Screwball.
It was.
It was not. It was
like,
something different.
It has a squirrel on the barrel.
Oh yeah, I think it's squirrel. Is it like SQRL? It's like squirrel.
Yes, I think so. Yeah. And then
that
I got
one
a little.
wasn't bad. I drank some of that, and I was like, oh, we love.
I got
peanut
a
butter.
Jack Daniels little sampler thing that I haven't really touched.
Ooh,
We had the honey, and the
we
only
tried
thing
the
I could
honey.
taste was honey, and I was like, put it back.
The honey is the reason that Justin hated whiskey coming into the show.
Really?
Yeah.
Because like that's all he could taste with whiskey. It's, I think this has a lot of depth for how easy it is to taste. Like you were able to pull a lot of flavors from it, and so that's not common. That either it doesn't have a lot of depth and a beginner can pull flavors from it, or it does have a lot of depth and a lot of it goes over a beginner's head. But they kind of walk that fine line where you can be newer to it and still kind of see a lot of the flavor.
Right.
I absolutely love it for beginner whiskey. It's also very hard to find. Anything from Buffalo Trace Distillery is very hard to find. So I actually wrote down a list of some other ones that are a lot easier to find for beginner bourbons. Jim Beam is very inexpensive, and it's just a staple in bourbon. Wild Turkey 101, that's high rye, so it's not as great for beginners, but it's pretty approachable for a high rye bourbon. It's going to have a little bit more of that bitiness. Bullet, I mentioned in the last episode that it's high rye. It's not officially a high rye bourbon. They don't advertise it as a high rye bourbon. But if you look up the mash bill that you can find online, it does have a lot of rye in it. So it's basically a high rye bourbon. Old Forester's pretty approachable. Four Roses is pretty approachable. Woodford Reserve. Of course, your Jack Daniels, which isn't technically a bourbon. It's Tennessee whiskey. But it is also obviously approachable. Everybody loves it. So if you weren't able to get your hands on Buffalo Trace, and if you're on the email list, I already sent you a list of all the different ones you could have bought, but those are some ideas for bourbons that you could drink to kind of get your feet wet with what bourbon's going to taste like. Wild Turkey is probably the most out there that I put on the list, but it's very, very popular.
I've had Wild Turkey, actually.
Have you?
I've had shots of Wild Turkey. I fully remember it, and I remember I hated every second.
Was it the 101, do you know?
And it was the white bottle.
It might have been, because I think they might both have... No, I think it
had like the white...
I don't remember.
It was like a Christmas gift for somebody, and we were stupid at 16. We were like, shots! And I was like, oh god.
Because 101 is 101 proof, so it's like super strong.
That's disgusting.
Yeah, so it's rough if you're not used to that at all. So closing thoughts, I want to get your thoughts on it, and then Bryce's thoughts. You can't see who I'm gesturing to. And then I want to get Autumn's thoughts, since it's still a little rough for you.
Yeah.
But I want to hear if anything's changed since you walked in. But first, let's get Bryce's thoughts.
I think that it is a good beginner bourbon. It's very sweet, very smooth, not dry, and I enjoyed it.
Not hot water.
Not hot water at all.
Not Applebee's.
Nope. I think it's almost perfectly in the middle of the other two that I tried. Because the other one was really simple. I believe it was the Tullamore. Was very simple. This would be like kind of in the middle of that. This is a little more complex, but it's also more flavorful. And then the Russell's was very flavorful, very complex. So this is kind of in the middle. I would actually probably choose this above those other two ones.
That's great. That's why, I mean,
I could see me drinking this more casually.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is definitely one that you can take with you, especially at the price point. And if somebody mixes it with 7-Up, you're going to be like, that's hard to find.
Like, what is
you're not going to care.
What does a bottle of that cost around
Near us, it's like $26.
Oh, really? That's not bad at all.
No, it's not bad. So usually you can find it for under $30.
Yeah.
Just really hard to find. You usually have to go the day they get their shipment in order to get it. Not as bad as like Blanton's, but pretty tough. Okay, so walking in, seltzers and Fireball.
Oh,
That's it.
That's what I got.
So has your opinion changed at all throughout the process?
I appreciate the science.
Okay.
I definitely appreciate it.
Yes.
I mean, it made it less terrible for sure.
Okay.
If I drink it again, I'm going to mix it with something. And I'm probably going to put ice in it.
That's totally fair.
But I do appreciate the experience. Maybe I'll learn to like it with some 7-Up.
Yeah, maybe we'll have to try it out with some rocks, with some ice.
Yeah.
And see how that works, and then we can move to mixing if we need to. But that's I full transparency. I decided to start drinking straight whiskey because I mixed whiskey. Like I didn't know.
Okay.
I thought people were full of crap when they said they liked straight whiskey. So I would drink it with 7-Up, and then eventually I was like, I kind of want less 7-Up in this. And then I was like, I kind of just like the taste of the whiskey. And then I decided I'm gonna try drinking straight whiskey. Bad idea to jump straight there, as you just experienced tonight. You can, but it was multiple weeks of just like, this sucks, but I know if I keep trying, it's going to feel good eventually.
That's how it is with White Claws, too, honestly.
That is how seltzers are.
I got stuck at Country Fest with nothing but seltzers. When I had just turned 21, I didn't know anything different.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, this is what it is. White Claws and Trulies.
Yep.
And then I came out of Country Fest only drinking White Claws, and I couldn't go back to, like, Mike's Hard or anything.
I like seltzers because, same reason I started liking drinking straight whiskey, because they don't, like, bloat. You know?
Oh, yeah. I was really worried about losing weight when I was, like, trying to be a bodybuilder. Weird. But I was drinking Tito's, water, and Mio religiously for, like, 6 months.
I did go through a phase
and it was really good. And I probably couldn't go back now, but it was really good at the time.
It is really good until you get so used to it, like within one night. Like, let's say you're drinking, like, a lot of it, that, like, eventually all you taste is the vodka. And it's like, you smell it, you know? That's rough. And before you know it, you're using like half a bottle of Mio.
That's
for
what
every
would
glass,
happen.
And it's like,
I was running out of Mio while I was at the bar, and I was like, White Claw, please.
Yeah. That is good though.
Oh yeah.
So I brought you a gift.
Okay. Since you're drinking my whiskey.
And it's a bottle of Dr. Pepper. People tell me there's 23 flavors in here, and I would like to know what flavors that we all find.
There might be a little whiskey in my glass. There might be 24.
Oh, 24 flavors. Okay.
I still have whiskey in my glass.
Pour a little bit. Well, you can sip on it.
Okay.
Oh yeah, there you go.
So let's take it off the nose. Smells a lot like whiskey.
Yeah, I gotta get the whiskey out of there. Smells a lot like I just drank the rest of the whiskey in my glass.
What are you taking away from this?
Do you think this would be good in the whiskey?
Absolutely.
I'm just gonna try it because
it's vanilla.
See, for me, it's cherry. I'm like,
this
is
vanilla
and cherry.
Oh, yeah, it's pretty cherry.
It's essentially cherry vanilla Coke. I mean,
that's exactly what I said.
Before cherry vanilla Coke was a thing.
But there's, 20 extra flavors in there we gotta find.
This is just like spicy Dr. Pepper.
I almost just spit that out.
I'm sorry for anybody that did just see what I did. I didn't finish my whiskey, so I put the rest of the Dr. Pepper in my whiskey.
Why is it spicy?
That's exactly what I was thinking.
It's good though, I'm not gonna lie.
Why is it spicy?
This made the whiskey better, thank you.
The whiskey made the Dr. Pepper better, actually.
You're right.
That's good.
Spicy.
It's a lot of cherry, a lot of vanilla.
Whiskey's basically hot sauce.
Can we look up the flavor? Can we look up the flavor list of Dr. Pepper?
Okay, let's do that. Let's see how many we can pull out real quick. Since I feel like this works, since Autumn didn't get to really participate in the actual tasting, you're gonna lead us through the Dr. Pepper tasting.
Oh, good idea.
You're gonna be the me. Now, before I hit go, let's try to pull out as many as we can. Right?
Okay.
Definitely cherry, vanilla, and Coke. I mean,
Okay.
that's obvious.
We got 3.
I was Dr. Pepper made me cough, but whiskey.
I mean,
did
this
not.
is the last ounce of your flat Dr. Pepper that you brought here, so I'm having a little
There's
trouble.
nothing. Yeah, there's nothing
It's
else.
just,
in it.
honestly, it's just cherry cola with vanilla.
Don't let a Dr. Pepper person hear you say that.
23 flavors minus 20.
I can probably get some caramel in there too.
Could you say sugar? I mean, like,
Straight sugar cane.
That's what I'm wondering when you said caramel. Are we like saying like, oh yeah, caramel and honey and like all the super similar flavors? Because like when that said molasses, I'm like, that's basic.
I do not get any anise in this. Anise. Oh, sorry.
That's good.
I can see the caramel.
I can see the caramel. All right, let's get this flavor list.
Oh, get out of here.
Oh wow, there's apricot in there.
Amaretto. Amaretto is basically the same cherry almond
Licorice. See, I feel like licorice is...
Molasses is in there.
I was gonna say,
lemon, plum, orange, nut.
Okay.
Nutmeg.
There's no citrus.
I remember last time talking
All
about
spices.
phantom flavors, and let me tell you, those are phantom flavors, but they ain't there.
Dr. Pepper's.
Sarsaparilla. That's just cola. That's root beer.
Yeah.
Use the caramel. There you go.
Prickly ash.
Yeah, prickly ash.
So it's wood. They're saying
Birch and prickly ash, so wood flavors.
I don't get that.
I don't think Dr. Pepper tastes like wood at all. I don't know what cardamon's supposed to taste like, but I can understand it, I guess.
I don't even. Ginger?
If you think there's lemon flavor in Dr. Pepper, get out of here.
No.
Get out of here.
This is very well marketed.
This is very well marketed.
Very well marketed.
Did you see the anise?
Yeah. No. There is anise. I knew there was anise in there.
From now on, and Bryce drinks, he's gonna be like, "You taste that anise?"
Yeah, yeah.
I love the taste of anise. I don't know what to tell you people.
I can't believe. Okay, so we've done how many whiskey tastings? At least I've recorded for this show. None of them have had anise in them, and the one that you're on has anise in it. And
That's
cracks
honestly
me
only fitting for
Yeah,
him.
it
That's
really
honestly
is. That is perfect.
Orange. There's supposed to be orange in Dr. Pepper.
Coriander juniper. Are we just making stuff up now?
100%.
Isn't juniper a name?
I think it can be.
Who do you know that's name is Juniper?
Someone that's above 80 years old, for
Yeah.
sure.
Juniper,
But
that sounds like something I've heard like
I feel like
on
it's
like
a
a TV
character.
show.
Maybe
I was just going to say that.
That's like a cat's name.
No, I think it's a character.
Yeah, I think it's a character.
Maybe in like a book series or TV series.
Yeah.
Definitely. All right, so closing comments. Autumn's better at tasting Dr. Pepper. We're better at tasting whiskey.
It is what it is.
I can't be mad about that.
And
That's
Buffalo
okay.
Trace and Dr. Pepper is a good mix.
It's a good mixer.
Spicy Dr. Pepper.
Spicy Dr. Pepper. Why is it spicy?
If you like hot sauce on your food, you're gonna like whiskey in your pop. It just or soda. I realized before that I say pop on the podcast.
The people in Ireland.
yeah, or people
They're
from
like,
the Midwest. They're like,
What is
I'm
pop?
not from the Midwest.
If you're listening to this in Ireland, hello.
We made the charts in Ireland.
We made
so
the-
there
yeah.
might be somebody. There's definitely somebody
We're
listening.
gonna have one.
They're probably just making fun of me about the riddles.
All right, let's round this out so we can turn the AC back on.
All right.
It's hot.
Because we can't run it while we're recording.
Thanks for having us.
Thank
Yeah,
you. That
absolutely.
was fun.
Thanks for coming on the podcast.
Interesting.
If we do something else about mixing or rocks, I'll keep you in mind, and then we'll have to.
bring me back.
Yes,
Maybe I'll like it this time.
we'll get you into the world of whiskey. All right, thank you guys for listening. That is my favorite beginner bourbon. Thank you for listening to this episode of Whiskey Noobs. If you like the show, make sure to help spread the word by introducing friends, coworkers, or anyone that you think would be interested. If you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to the show on your favorite streaming platform, rate the show, review the show, and follow on Instagram at whiskey_noobs to stay up to date. If you want, you can join the email list by sending an email to whiskeynoobspodcast@gmail.com. You'll then be updated every month on what whiskeys I'll be drinking on the show so you can drink right along with me and review it as we go. Thanks again for listening to the Whiskey Noobs Podcast. Learn to drink, drink to learn. The Whiskey Noobs Podcast does not support underage or otherwise irresponsible consumption of alcohol.